Hello everyone, it's Oliver Harper here, and this is the new Patreon Q&A for October. First things first, I'm working on a retrospective of Alien Resurrection, or Alien statue there. I'm a bit behind on it, so it won't be ready for the 31st of October. I've pretty much done everything else. It's now recording this on the 27th, so I've got like a few days to get it finished, and I'm probably guessing it will be done early November. So I do apologise if you've been waiting, but every October I always give myself too much work, and it's all kind of piled up and stuff, and having issues recently with uploading stuff to YouTube. My internet, I pay for extra. I've got a business account, and you pay to get more upload speeds, and YouTube's just been taking forever to upload things. Either it's YouTube's problem or it's my network provider. So I'm trying to resolve that so I can get things up in quicker time. But anyway, let's crack on with the questions. The first question is from Daniel. Have you seen or are you planning to do the Terminator TV show, the Sarah Connor Chronicles? Question 2, love to see what your opinions on more Rodriguez's stuff, along with more early Marvel movies, especially the Tom Jane Punisher, and maybe brave some foreign films like Battle Royale plus its sequel, and Dead Snow and that sequel. Well, I did mention it in my review of Terminator Salvation. I'd seen a few episodes of it and I was quite impressed with it. I've not seen season 2 or the remaining of season 1. I kind of watched half of it, I believe, and then I kind of stopped. I always get kind of sidetracked very easily. So next year I will be doing the Sarah Connor Chronicles. Question 2. I'm not really sure about any more Robert Rodriguez stuff at this point. I would probably do Planet Terror if I had, if I decided, say, in a couple of weeks. And in regards to Marvel stuff, the Thomas Jane Punisher we'll probably get around to with a commentary, but it is something I want to do as a retrospective. I quite liked the director's cut that he put out a number of years back, where I think the director's cut had like an animated intro, gave you a bit more of a backstory to his character. But in regards to more foreign films, I'm not sure at this point. Next question is from FYZ306903. I remember many reviews referring to the John Wick films as feeling like 90s action films. This was almost always meant as a major compliment. What is it about those films that makes them feel similar to 90s action films, and how have action films in general changed over time from the 70s onwards? Would you say action films have gotten better or worse over time? I think they've gotten better. I think they're doing far more elaborate things with fight sequences or explosions and car chases and stuff. But I think thanks to computer generated material, you can kind of achieve more things that would be impossible in live action. But there's still a lot of great stuff happening within live action. I think people are sort of developing better technology for cars to do certain things and stuff like that. As regards to John Wick, I think it's just down to that. You have a lot of takes with like one single take with Keanu Reeves beating people up instead of cutting away to things, and it's relying on just in-camera stuff. It's not relying on CGI. I'm sure there's probably CGI implemented with things like blood squibs and stuff. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think that compliment comes from that it's kind of going back to how things were shot in the past, but also giving a new slice of kind of modern filmmaking. Next question is from Phil. Hey Ollie, question number 1. I was wondering if I could get your brief thoughts on the following movies: The Crow, City of Angels, You Are Next, Gabriel, Warlock, The Punisher from 2004, and Highlander Endgame. Well, I just mentioned Punisher on the last question. The Crow, City of Angels, I thought was awful. I remember renting that when it came out. I think I got it for my birthday. I had a bunch of friends over. We kind of a sleepover and stuff, and then we rented some films, and the deal was at the VHS shop you could rent 2 movies. So you pay like £2.50 and you get 2 films. One was Crow, City of Angels, and it was one of the dullest films ever. And I've not returned to it since then. I don't believe. I was contemplating reviewing it a few months back. Then I kind of, had other things I wanted to do, and I kind of lost track of it. I may cover it at some point, because I've done the first film, and that was received very well with my viewers over the years. So I could try to cover the sequel and try and find something about it that may pique my interest. Because I only saw it once. That was on VHS, an old crappy pan and scan tape. So that may come up next year. You Are Next and Gabriel and Warlock I have not seen. I do apologise. Highlander Endgame. I kind of stopped at doing Highlander stuff at number 3. Endgame does obviously bring, it sort of combines the TV show and the film and the live action series. Well, it combines the TV show and the Christopher Lambert movies. I've seen a couple of reviews of it, and I saw chunks of it when I reviewed number 3 because I put some footage of it in the review, I believe. And it's a mess, really. But I mean, I suppose it had good intentions, but it was kind of butchered in its edit. I think is there a longer cut of it that's far superior? Someone leave a comment below, and I'll try and check it out. Question 2: do you get many people who stop you on the street that know who you are? And does having so many subscribers on YouTube and supporters on Patreon surprise you? I'm always, happy and I'm very surprised to see the large amount of followers I have on YouTube and the generous people who support me on Patreon. And my channel's always been kind of niche, and I'm not really part of the big hitters. I haven't produced anything that's gone viral. I think a lot of people that do produce something that goes viral, they have to sort of to keep up that momentum, producing similar stuff, and often things come out of being viral because it's like a random thing that kind of clicks. Then trying to sustain that is sometimes very, very difficult. So my channel's always been on this kind of steady increase, which is very nice to see. So maybe you'll get to 100k subscribers in the new year. But at the end of the day, it's not really about the subscribers. It's about how many people actually watch your content. So yeah, that's more important than the actual subscriber number. Being noticed by people. I've been noticed a few times, like in Tesco's shopping centre, or if I go to a Comic-Con, then I generally get spotted by people going, "Oh, you're Oliver Harper." I'm like, "Oh, hello." Yeah, it's always very nice to meet people and stuff like that, and it's always baffling to me because I've only got 80,000 subscribers, and the amount, if you consider the population of the UK, and then when you go somewhere like a Comic-Con, you'll get noticed by someone. It's weird. Small world, really. What made you want to do these retrospectives? Was it because of lack of information on certain bonus features on Laserdisc/DVD that made you want to do this? I have been asked a few times in the past doing interviews with people discussing why I did YouTube. I don't think it was really from the beginning about creating these videos because there wasn't an alternative for it. At first it was just kind of trying to get my points across on something that I deemed acceptable and other people thought was rubbish, like Superman 4. I mean, I wanted to discuss that movie, to discuss its problems and why it went, all tits up. But then it kind of evolved over the years, or probably actually over the coming months, actually, when I got more and more feedback. And then it kind of developed into this thing where I pick a movie where there wasn't actually any retrospective or, documentary on it. So I thought, well, let's try and fill that void and try and provide something interesting. And then, it's kind of evolved with the feedback and got rid of Siskel and Ebert clips, which drove people bonkers. But yeah, in some cases, I've thought to myself, right, okay, there's no, documentary, whatever. Let's put everything together I can find and make something worthwhile. I mean, I think when I did Sudden Death Van Damme thing, I mean, there's still no, special features with that film, and I don't think Universal Pictures would ever do anything with it. So there's always trying to find like the behind the scenes stuff from when it came out. Like there's all promotional things they always did. So if you can find something like that and then create something new, then you can provide the audience with something quite fresh or maybe a new kind of behind the scenes thing that they may not have been aware of. Like, for example, like just my recent one, like Fortress, there's nothing on that. That was really difficult to do because there's no behind the scenes stuff. It was so difficult. I had to go through old like Starlog magazines trying to find interviews to sort of confirm certain facts that have been put on the internet, like IMDb or whatever. And so that's a bit more challenging. But I do like a challenge. So anything else coming up soon that has nothing on it, may prove difficult, but should get good results in the end. Buddy computer, stop going off. Next question is from Wit. Question 1. With the success of your new segment Fix It in Post this year, do you have plans or would you consider doing an episode where you and Richard each pick your top 10 best films of 2017? Me and Richard have discussed this. I believe, a couple of days ago. I think we're trying to think of new ideas. Like, because November's going to be a little bit more quiet for me, because October's just been like constantly busy. So November I'm going to be focused on the Superman 4 documentary I've been working on with my good friend Tim. And so we're only going to be reviewing Justice League, I think, Fix It in Post. So we may try and do a top 10 thing for December, but also kind of fill that void with like possibly review a Star Trek Discovery show and possibly Stranger Things season 2. So yeah, if we do a top 10, you'll certainly know first, Wick, because it'll be on Patreon. So yeah, so hopefully come like second or third week of December, we'll put something together. Question 2. You've stated in previous commentaries and discussions how impressed you are with the DVD producer Charles de Arecas' work on the Alien Anthology and Blade Runner box sets. I hope I've pronounced his surname right. If you could pick, which film or series would you like to see him work on next? I would say Robocop films, but there's already a documentary coming out called Robodoc, and those guys seem to be doing very good things with that. So I'd probably say the Terminator films, because the Terminator, the first movie, had a very kind of... It did have a retrospective, but I thought it was very kind of lazily put together. And there's one scene had like Arnold and James Cameron just sitting in, I presume, Arnold's house, just talking about, just reminiscing. I'd want something a little bit more comprehensive about that. So, yeah. I mean, Terminator 2 as well. I mean, it's been old. With the new Blu-ray coming out, which has now been delayed again, it's not out till December in the UK now. I think there's new interviews on that, but I'd want something to cover everything, like everyone to be honest about Terminator 3 and Salvation, get some sort of retrospective kind of new opinions on things like the Alien ones, where people would have said, look, hey, this was a disaster, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, so Terminator films would be a good choice. Next question is from Sylvester. Hi, Oliver. So we're going to get the second Pacific Rim, whether we like it or not. I always thought the first one was a one-off film, which didn't need a sequel, like, let's say, Equilibrium. What do you think? Yeah, I really like Pacific Rim. I didn't see it as a one-off film though. I didn't mind there being a sequel, but I saw the trailer and I was like, doesn't look brilliant. I mean, it's changed it from 185 to 2351. I mean, this is a bit techno babble here, but I think it kind of looks better with 185, but with the kind of lenses and stuff, everything seems to look bigger that way. There's wide lenses. But, I mean, the CGI and stuff, I mean, it looked more cartoony. I don't know, it didn't look as good. And the thing that really kind of destroyed me with the trailer was the music. The music was fucking awful, so I didn't really have high hopes for it. But, you know, we'll wait till reviews come out and see what it's like. Next question is from Niall, or Neil, depending on how you like to pronounce it. Hey Oliver, Alien 3 was a big disappointment, but the extras on the quadrilogy box set for Alien 3 were fantastic. They really gave an insight into studio's interference and overall development hell. Can you suggest any similar excellent extras and content of a poor or average movie? Well, I mean, I did Teen Wolf, didn't I, recently as a Blu-ray review. I mean, it's a good film, but it's not like a masterpiece, but it's a really good, like, comprehensive kind of documentary. It's like 2.5 hours long. Longer than the fucking film. The Robocop 2 and 3 ones are pretty good by Scream Factory. They're worth checking out, those extras. Anything else before then? I think Legend was pretty good. I mean, that was you know, quite a good documentary. But I mean, it's not like Alien standard. I'm trying to think anything else that's really kind of blown me away or I've rewatched. Actually, one thing I've rewatched quite a lot is there's Fist of the North Star live action movie, right? You know, it's a turd, right? It's crap. But the UK DVD had an interview with Gary Daniels, the star, and he talks about his career and how he got to make the movie and things like that. And it's like 45 minutes to maybe an hour long, and it's really informative. It's really good. So it's not really, it's just a, you know, shooting just like this, just talking to camera. But what he says is quite fascinating. So yeah, that's worth checking out. Next question is from Frederick. We all have those movies that we love and everyone else hates, and vice versa. What would be your 3 movies in each category? See, I'm not really a fan of these kind of lists. Sorry, Frederick. Well, there's one movie I love, but most of the critics hated, was Alexander by Oliver Stone. I thought it was a great film. And there's so many different cuts of that film as well. There's the director's cut, the final cut, and then there's the ultimate cut. Oh, that's 4 then, with the theatrical, that's 4. Maybe there's one more. I don't know, I can't remember. But I still prefer the theatrical cut of that movie. I mean, he's kind of made it longer and kind of shifted things around and changed the the kind of events of the movie. So it's, I don't know, I'm very picky on which version I like, but I still always go for the first theatrical version. Obviously, I like Masters of the Universe, the live action film. Most of my mates hate that film, so it's funny hearing their opinions on it. But I'm generally, hate's a strong word. I mean, if I most cases, if everyone despises a movie that came out, I tend to kind of fall into the same category. I won't suddenly think this is amazing, because it's two extremes, I didn't like Suicide Squad, and most people didn't like that film, but it did really well. So there's an audience for that movie. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough question. But yeah, I'd always say, for me, when anyone always asks me what film I love and everyone else hated, that was Alexander. Next question is from Rhys. Hi Oliver, 2 questions. First, have you seen the Electric Boogaloo documentary about Canon Films? And what did you think of it? Also, do you ever plan on doing retrospectives on any of the Saw films, as I personally think they are really clever story-wise, but some people just see them as torture gore films? I have seen the Canon documentary. There's a review of it on my channel. Me and Duncan reviewed it as part of this film festival they had in London. So we reviewed it maybe a couple of months before it came out. So yeah, go check it out. I thought it was a very good documentary. Superb stuff. Question 2 was Saw. I'm not a fan of the Saw films, I'm afraid. Sorry, dude. I saw the first one, thought it was quite good. Thought it was quite original kind of movie. When I was working as a projectionist. Then the sequels came out every October, obviously. And I saw bits of them, and I was like, these aren't for me. I'm not really a fan of the sort of, as you put it, kind of torture gore kind of thing, and it's torture porn for horror fans. As I said, I saw a few of the scenes. I was like, no, this is not for me. It's not my type of horror film, I'm afraid. Next question is from Andre. Hi Oliver, this is not a request, just a curiosity. Would you ever consider a retrospective on the original Shrek from 2001? Enough time has passed that the franchise has seemingly left the public's eye. I feel really bad now, because I said to Rhys I didn't like the Saw films, and I personally don't like the Shrek films. So they probably wouldn't be covered. I saw the first one when it came out on DVD. I thought it was okay. I quite liked Eddie Murphy as a donkey. John Lithgow as a king. John Lithgow's always good. I'm just not a fan of the Shrek character. And then I started working as a projectionist, and Shrek 2 and 3 came out, and they were on all the time, and I just got sick of them. I just despised them at that point. So, sorry, dude. Final question is from Zachary. Hello, sir. I was curious as to what you might consider your favourite and least favourite theatrical experiences. Doesn't have to be the best movie you have ever seen in the theatre, or even worst, but the quality of the overall experience. Well, recently, that was quite a bad experience. Great film, but just full of loudmouth chavs laughing at inappropriate jokes in the film, or inappropriate moments, when the girl's obviously abused by her father in it, and the lads behind me were like, pedo, things like that, childish behaviour. And they kept obnoxiously kind of clapping through moments. That's the most recent kind of one. In the past, let's go to best experience. I mean, The Dark Knight was pretty good on IMAX. That was really good experience. Actually, going back a bit further, probably something like South Park, the movie they did. That was just the whole cinema. Everyone was just roaring with laughter. People just falling off their seats and stuff. It was that was pretty crazy. The most recent one, it's being disappointment, and years back, South Park being one of the kind of really good experiences. And it's recently with Thor Ragnarok. That was such a good laugh seeing that. I mean, I never really have that many bad or really amazing experiences. It depends what the film you're watching and the conditions you're in. I mean, if you're watching a comedy, it's always pretty good to watch a comedy with loads of people. You get that kind of reaction, and horror films as well, where you get your reaction from the audience. But I had a bad experience where you had loads of people in there at the wrong time of day seeing it, and when they just full of obnoxious teenagers who won't shut up. But that's the final question. That's the final question of the Q&A. I will be reviewing in November the recent Superman Blu-ray, which is comes with the 3-hour TV cut of Superman the movie. which I've had on VHS tape since the late 90s. Back in the day, with dealing, trading with other people on Superman forums. That was a fun old days of Superman collecting. So yeah, I will be covering that, and we'll be providing links where you can get it from. I think actually you can now get the TV cut with Superman the movie, like special edition, on iTunes. The TV cut's included as a bonus. I'm not sure if that's for outside the USA, so you have to double check that. But for people who can't get hold of the Blu-ray, for importing whatever, I mean, it's a region-free Blu-ray, so it should play on anything. But if you want to use iTunes, you may have some luck finding it on there. I will be back, as promised, with Alien Resurrection very soon, and that Superman thing. Okay, everyone, take care, and goodbye.
If you enjoyed the video, you can find more on my YouTube channel, and also you can follow me on Twitter. If you want to help support the channel, you can donate through Patreon and receive monthly perks such as updates on the latest news on my channel, early access to reviews and commentaries before they go live on YouTube. Even the smallest donation can help keep this channel going. Thank you.